Hello, hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We talk about things life, love, spirituality, law of attraction, and all of that juicy goodness. In this video, we're going to talk about whether you are truly believing in a higher power called God, universe, Jesus, spirit, angels, guides, whatever you want to call them. Do you really believe? Are you just saying that you believe, but you're not really feeling it? You're not trusting it. You're not willing to walk blindly in the unknown, knowing that they're going to show up for you. And I know this is hard because if you haven't experienced it, then you might not be able to feel that deeply rooted faith that you just know you're going to be taken care of. And you don't have to go and do drastic things to know that you're taken care of. But really seeing and looking back, I want you to pause right now and think about a time where you didn't think you'd have enough money for something. And then where did the money come from? How did it show up? Did it show up a day late, but it still showed up? Did somebody random offer to pay for your coffee one day? These little small indicators are helping us learn to trust more and more and more. And I remember when I was first on my journey, I hated the word God, did not believe in the universe. I grew up in a very, very Catholic environment. I went through K through 12 Catholic school. My family was not, we went to church, every Sunday in like elementary school, but then it kind of stopped and we all started playing sports. And we weren't the type of family that prayed before every meal. It wasn't really talked about in my house. It was something we just did. And I didn't like it. And I just was like, why am I being forced to do this? I had to take religion class every single year. And I actually failed a few tests and I got in a lot of trouble for it. And ironically, the tests that I failed were religion tests. So I was then told I was stupid and I couldn't do anything around the subject of God. So for me to fail a test with the word God and Jesus in it, and then to feel stupid because of it, I hated learning it. And there was more tied into that story, more pain, more suffering. But essentially, that put up a wall for me, for Michelle at that age. I hate the word God. I hate religion. Don't believe in it because of that experience. And it pushed me so far away from spirit, from my true nature. So my whole teenage 20s, I was not connected at all. Didn't believe in it, hated when people talked about it. And that's why I'm very mindful to call it the universe, because I know that there's some people out there that might be resistant to the word God. Because what if they had an experience like me where I just hated the word? Somebody said universe, I saw that completely different. But now with my belief system, I see it as all one. It's not some man in the sky. It's a higher intelligence that created us. And again, this is just how I like to see it. You guys have your own way of seeing it too. And if you grew up in a Catholic household where you loved it and you loved thinking of it as a man in the sky who just loves you so much, that's wonderful. High five. I'm so happy that you're happy in your own belief system. But for others who aren't sure, you don't have to believe in it the way others do. And I am proof that I went from hating it all to then opening myself up to being like, okay, what do I want to believe? My daughter passed away 10 years ago. I wanted to understand where she went. Am I going to meet her again? Like, I just needed answers. So I started learning about past lives. I started to go see mediums. They would tell me, Michelle, you're just like us. And I would be like, what are you talking about? I'm just a teacher. And they're like, no, in your future, you're going to be using your spiritual gifts. And back then I still didn't fully believe. So I have come such a far way, but in life, we are born into these bodies super connected to spirit. From age 0 to 3, we are still connected to the spirit world. Then all of a sudden we get calloused over by life. Trauma starts to happen, pain starts to happen, maybe beautiful experiences start to happen, and you start to lose a little bit of that spirit world. You're really in the 3D reality. You're in life. And then at some point, there tends to be an awakening moment. Something brings you back. Some say it, they came back to Jesus. Some say they woke up and had a spiritual awakening, whatever you want to call it. I called it a spiritual awakening for me because it just happened after a breakup. After a breakup, I was skin and bones. I couldn't eat. I literally thought I was going to die. it was worse than the loss of my daughter. And I don't understand why. I think it's because it was just so much wounding from my childhood of being abandoned and maybe being abandoned in other lifetimes. It felt like he took knives and just stabbed me all over. I just was like, I can't handle this anymore. I need to have him. And I couldn't have him. And it's different than a loss, right? Because we know that they're gone and we can't have them. But when somebody's here and not choosing you, it feels like knives all over your body. So that forced me to do my healing. And as I was opening up and doing my healing, I would go see a Reiki practitioner. She would pull cards from me. And here we go again, somebody telling me, Michelle, you have these gifts. And I was like, what? Why does everybody keep saying that? And in reality, we all do. We all have this ability to connect to God, to spirit, to Jesus, whoever you like to connect to. And it's just, are we meant to do it in this lifetime? And I definitely was. The experience with my daughter brought me here, and it brought me to all these mediums and these Reiki practitioners. And here I am now, hoping to open up your eyes and ears to the fact that you don't have to believe it the way other people believe it. You don't have to believe what I believe. Whatever works for you and whatever makes you have that faith that I was talking about earlier, knowing that love is all around you and the world doesn't want you to suffer. The world wants you to heal. Life wants you to heal, and it wants you to understand that you came here to understand that you are creating your reality. Where you're living is a result of your choices. Your job is a result of your choices. Yes, our soul comes here to learn lessons, and sometimes we can't control it. But the lesson is waking up to, oh, I'm attracting this terrible environment. Let me get myself out of that. Let me use the law of attraction. Let me use the law of assumption and start to hit buttons every single day on what I do want to create for my tomorrow, for my next week, for my next month. So learning to have faith that if we are thinking thoughts that are positive and they feel good and we're like, you know what, I don't want to suffer. I can see myself in this type of job. I make my own hours. I have freedom. I am making double what I made before. And you just start playing out this imaginary story of what you want to create. And then you have faith that once you set it out there, you put the intention out there and you just keep imagining yourself going to that type of job or staying at home doing it. That's when the faith kicks in. You're going to start to see a stranger will come into your life and say, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. And all of a sudden they're doing the thing that you want to do and they're doing it in a very successful way. The universe just brought you this person to they can be a mentor for you to teach you how to do it. And then you go home that night and you're like, hey, babe, whoever you're talking to, I just met somebody after I just journaled my dream job. I just met somebody that's doing it and they're doing it really well and they're successful. That's the faith. That's you seeing the universe is taking care of you. This sign that's here behind me, life is love. Love is life. It's the universe. It's God. It's all of it. It's this higher intelligence that is taking care of you. And I know that might be hard to hear if you don't believe in it. And if you do believe in it, then use that momentum and keep it going. Don't lose faith. Don't second guess it. And if you don't have experiences where you feel that deeply rooted, like, oh, I can quit my job today and know that something will come tomorrow. If you're scared to do that, that's okay. But guess what? You could 100% quit your job today. Nothing lined up. And the universe literally will bring you something. It might take 2 weeks. So in those 2 weeks, guess what you might have to do? You might have to have immense patience and be calm and just rest and just wake up each day and enjoy sleeping in and be like, okay, this is temporary, but I'm going to trust that the universe is going to bring me something. It's going to make me hop on the computer and search for something. It's going to have somebody send me an email or a text or a social media message. You could quit your job today and trust that something will come. I've done it twice in my life, and it has been incredibly magical to not have something lined up and to see how it all unfolded. The first time I did it, I was flailing. I was on the floor. Like, I got out of the shower the one day. I remember literally getting out of the shower in my towel, laying on my living room floor going, Michelle, what did you just do? You just quit your teaching job after 14 years. You left your pension. You left all health insurance. What did you do? But looking back, everything worked out. I wasn't supposed to be teaching anymore. And it all panned out. And I can see in all of my clients' lives when they take leaps of faith, whether they have something lined up or not, because you can have something lined up and that could not work out. And that's, again, you have to trust that if that doesn't work out, then something better is always coming. Okay. And this is how hearing stories like this builds your faith. It's like, oh, if that can happen for her or him, then it can happen for me. And I'm not special. We are all the same. We're all one. We're all connected. The universe doesn't like shower me gifts more than you. It's just I'm opening myself up and saying, I trust you. I know you will bring me what I need, and I'm not going to flail. I'm going to relax. I'm going to spend those 2 weeks waiting for my next job, enjoying it. If I have to put money on a credit card during that 2 weeks, I know that that debt will get paid off. Because in my experience, that happened. Quit my teaching job, was taking care of, well, I took a leave of absence from my last teaching job to take care of my dad. I put all expenses on credit cards, got up to like 20 some thousand in credit card debt. Not even 6 months later, I had a woman walk into my life and offer to pay off my debt. She booked a reading with me. She said she knew my dad and she was so sweet and she just wanted to help out. And I'm like, what kind of magic is this? And the whole month before she did that, I was writing in my journal, God, you pay my bills. You paid off my debt. I cannot believe you paid off my debt so quickly. Literally, I spent the money on the credit cards because it was a resource at the time to help me do what I needed to do. I needed to take care of my dad and I needed to not be teaching. And those credit cards offered a resource for me to use. And then they kept me alive because I did have savings, but I needed to use that for my rent. And 6 months later, credit card debt gone. So the universe will pay your bills. You can take leaps of faith. But I understand if it's scary and if you're like, oh, I don't have the nervous system to do that. That's okay. But start small. Start asking for small things. Start asking for $10,000 while you have a job and see if it shows up. And when you get good at those little manifestations, when you take a leap or when you're starting a new business and you want to call in new coworkers or new people to hire, you're going to trust that the universe is going to bring you whatever you push a button on. And I always say push a button because your present moment is your button. Whatever you're thinking and feeling right now, you're pressing a button on for what you want tomorrow. So you have a choice. You could be sitting here thinking that you're going to be sick or you're not going to be healthy or this is going to suck or it's always chaotic in your house. You're never going to get the laundry done, whatever it is. If you're thinking that thought, you're literally pressing a button and say, universe, I want more of this tomorrow. Thank you so much. I can't wait. No, don't push that button. Start to create what you want. Okay. And if you aren't really sure if it's going to arrive, let this video sink into your bones. It will. It's just a matter of time. Okay. You can trust this. Have faith. And remember, you don't have to believe what other people believe. This is your life. You're looking through your lens and you get a choice. And if somebody is saying something that you don't believe in, there's like a sliding glass door between you. That's okay. Let them think that. You think your thoughts. You can still be married and have these separate beliefs. You can still be siblings with somebody and love them, even though they have a different take on something. You're allowed to allow other people to feel what they feel. Just like if somebody were in my reality and they didn't believe in the universe and my whole YouTube channel, I wouldn't write them off and say, I'm not spending time with them because they don't believe in what I do. They're still a human being that I can love. And maybe I can still receive love from them. So keep your energy open. We're all here. We're all here to learn lessons, to experience things. We all don't have to follow suit of what everybody else is doing. Okay? I'm sending you so much love. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. I do one-on-one coaching. If you need help building your faith, hit me up. I am your girl. All right. Peace out.